4,000 miles from Chicago across the North Atlantic, welcome to the majestic land of Norway. And while it's common to see the weather like this, mist, rain, and fog in the air, we've also been very lucky to catch some of the very nicest days of the year. Within the hour, I'll take you on an incredible journey with breathtaking views that you truly have to see to believe. It's all a part of an Adventures by Disney vacation. And if you're wondering what the connection is between Norway and Disney, well, it all started with a little film called Frozen.
Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky. Let it go, you'll never see me cry.
Disney's Frozen. It's the #1 animated film of all time, grossing more than $1.2 billion worldwide. But did you know that the animators behind the film got their inspiration from the country of Norway? Everything from landscapes to costumes. And now Adventures by Disney has created a spectacular, inspired by Frozen, Norway vacation. Experience all the sights and sounds of the Scandinavian country that influenced the makers of the hit film.
I am ready to do this. Let's head to Norway, huh? Shall we?
Windy City Live is the first TV show invited to experience this unique Adventures by Disney vacation, and you are coming along for the ride. But I'm not alone.
You ready to do this?
My childhood best friend Mikey of 26 years flew in from California to join me. First, we have a long flight ahead of us. Our Norway adventure will take us from the windy city of Chicago to Norway's second largest city, Bergen. More than 3,800 miles from home, day one of our Norway adventure begins right here.
I've known Ryan for about 26 years now.
The first time I met Mikey was in 6th grade. We were actually the same height when we met. We were in the same class. I had this big Vanilla Ice wave hairdo, and he was kind of like a surfer look guy too, and we just hit it off from the beginning. Mikey and I were inseparable. Anywhere you saw Mikey go, you saw me, and vice versa. We were the best of friends from very early on. Mikey actually taught me how to write my first love letters to girls in junior high.
Ryan was actually not a ladies' man. He had all the looks, just didn't have the ability or the charm. So I had to kind of help him out on that part.
After we graduated high school, Mikey really wanted to serve our country. He went into the Marine Corps and he set records there for like push-ups, pull-ups. He was like one of the top guys in his battalion.
I wanted something different, didn't know what I wanted to do. Heard the Marine Corps was always the hardest, so I ended up going to the Marine Corps and ended up being in the Marine Corps for about 6 more years after that.
And everything that he's ever done, he's exceeded at, and he's always serving other people. And now he's a police officer.
After the Marine Corps, I decided to go in law enforcement. I said I could do that, lifetime fitness, great career, you're helping people, different changes of scenery all the time. I said that's something I could see myself doing. I am married with 3 children. My wife Lydia and my children Nathan, Natalie, and Evan, 12, 7, and 5. Amazing children, amazing wife. One of my children is named after Ryan, Nevin Ryan Lopez. We just call him Little Ryan. He calls Ryan Uncle Rai Rai.
And when I found out I could take one guest, the decision was easy for me. I mean, the guy who has been in my life and been my biggest fan, friend, and supporter from the time that we were, in elementary school.
He gave me the dates, and the dates I already had off a vacation requested for the family. So I had to call the wife and say, look, we got to cancel our family trip, and I'm going to go with Ryan. Do you mind? And she said, you know what, I would never tell you no. I would never tell you to miss this kind of opportunity. This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip that you and Ryan will remember for the rest of your life. You got to go.
He's a dedicated father and husband, and it was time that somebody did something nice for him because he's always doing such great things for other people, and that's why I had to take him to Norway.
So Mikey and I begin our tour in Bergen, one of North Europe's oldest port cities on the west coast of Norway. It's welcomed visitors from across the globe for more than 900 years. One of Norway's most iconic images is Bergen, which means wharf in Norwegian. The colorful warehouses of the Hanseatic Wharf are what most think of when Bergen is mentioned. By the 12th century, it was a key trading spot. These days, tourists love it for its restaurants, shops, artist studios, and more. But no visit to Bergen is complete without a stop at the fish market. The picturesque outdoor market is a hotspot with some of the freshest seafood around. Check out these king crabs.
You know what it looks like? It looks like Predator. Yeah, it does. It looks like Predator.
One thing is for sure, no matter where you go in Bergen, you can always find folks having a good time, especially on the water. But Bergen is just the beginning of our Frozen-inspired Norway tour. To find out what else is in store, we caught up with Eric Watkins from Adventures by Disney.
All right, it's a gorgeous day here in Bergen. Eric, my first time to Norway. We're about to embark on this Disney adventure trip. I'm excited. What can I expect?
Well, you can definitely expect to see the majestic landscapes and the rich cultural heritage that every visitor to Norway would get, but you're also going to get the storytelling. So the filmmakers did come to Norway to get their inspiration for the movie, and this is actually the second iteration of our inspired by a Disney movie itinerary. So our first one was our Scotland itinerary, which was inspired by the Disney Pixar Brave. And so what we found is that our guests are inspired by our movies, and what greater way to experience a destination than with the brand that inspired you in the first place.
Right, so you have Scotland, you have Norway. Where else? What other destinations?
Adventures by Disney travels to more than 24 destinations worldwide that touch 6 of the 7 continents.
And what about for people who don't want to travel outside the States?
We have a number of domestic itineraries that go to our national parks, such as Grand Canyon and Yellowstone, but we actually have a new platform called Long Weekends that are shorter itineraries, but they're all domestic based, so New York, San Francisco, and Winter and Yellowstone product as well.
All right, get your sales pitch on and tell me why Adventures by Disney is better than any other vacation.
Absolutely. Well, there's 3 reasons that I can give you. First is a truly hassle-free experience, right? We're taking care of your transportation, your luggage. We've got 2 adventure guides that are there, taking care of all your needs before you even know about them. We've also got beautifully crafted itineraries infused with local experts that really bring these destinations to life. And finally, that third thing is we're treating you like a VIP. We've got private events, backstage access, you're bypassing lines of some of the world's most famous museums and attractions, and we're giving you some fun little surprises that will really make your vacation delightful.
Now, if people want to learn more about Adventures by Disney, how do they find that info?
You can visit our website at adventuresbydisney.com, or you can talk to your travel agent.
The only thing left to do on day 1 of our tour is to gather for dinner with the others joining us for this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. But there is one phenomena I have to check out before calling it a night.
Well, our day is coming to a close in Bergen, but you'd never know it by the looks of it. As you can see, the sunlight's still off to the distance, and it's not going to get much darker than this. And believe it or not, it's almost midnight. During the Norwegian summer season, the sun never sets north of the Arctic Circle. And for a couple of months, including this time of year, the sun is visible 24 hours a day. Now in the winter, it's just the opposite.
Day 2 of our Norway adventure, and we're headed for a little fun on the water. Upon leaving Bergen, our journey takes us to the city of Voss, about 65 miles east. Even from the motor coach, you can see just how beautiful this country of Norway truly is. Our first stop is Voss Rafting Center. And check out the incredible view. Wow, breathtaking. But this is where we really want to go, exploring the river rapids. Once we get suited up,
I can't believe I got it on.
I don't know if I can put that on. I think I'm gonna take my chances. We hop on the bus and we're out of here. We get a quick safety briefing.
On your way out, just grab a hold of that rope. So when you're in the water, at least you're still with us.
And it's time for a little fun. In calmer waters, I decide to cool off for a bit. Of course, my competitive streak kicks in and play a little whitewater chicken with our photog, Tyler. And I'm not about to lose. If I'm going in, so is he. And if I'm getting wet, there's no way Mikey's staying dry.
Rolling. Sure?
Yeah. Sorry, Mikey. Well, not really. Back in our boats once again, we head for shore. Our time on the water may be done, but our day is far from over. After drying off, we're back on the motor coach and headed to one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen. Just 7 miles north of Voss is Tvindefossen, the Twin Waterfalls. 2 waterfalls come together for a near 400-foot drop, descending over 10 tiers of rugged cliffs. Tourists from around the world flock here each year, and legend has it, those who drink the water of Tvindefossen are said to live long lives and find success in love. Hey, I'll drink to that. Coming up, a sight to take your breath away. The famous Fjords of Norway. And later, one of the oldest and most beautiful churches to inspire the filmmakers of Frozen. Welcome back. I'm on an Adventures by Disney Norway vacation inspired by the hit film Frozen. Along for the ride with me is my childhood best friend, Mikey Lopez. So far, we've seen the beautiful port city of Bergen, we've gone white water rafting in the quaint little town of Voss, and we've seen a spectacular twin waterfall known as Tvindafossen. As day 2 of our tour continues, we leave Voss behind and head to the village of Flom. But on the mountain road taking us there, we find ourselves at Stegastein, a viewpoint with one of the most breathtaking scenes you'll ever experience. This is the Aurland Fjord. A fjord is nothing more than a narrow body of water surrounded by mountains. The Stegastein platform, made out of laminated wood and steel, jets out about 100 feet from the edge of the mountain and lets you stand more than 2,100 feet above the fjord.
I don't feel good about this at all.
From this viewpoint, you're guaranteed to take your best vacation photos ever. As day 2 comes to a close, we find ourselves in a small village, but a tourist hotspot. And to tell us about it, we turn to our own resident expert.
Well, we're in the village of Flom, and we're here with our Disney Adventure tour guide, and it's impossible to forget his name. He's from Norway. His name is actually Tour Guy.
Yeah.
Did you make that up?
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, it's a very common and traditional name in Norway. It is.
And what does it mean?
Well, again, kind of like Thor means the thunder god.
Right, so
Thor.
like we would say Thor in
Yeah.
the States.
Yeah,
okay.
from the Northern mythology, and then Geir means a spear. So I guess like the spear of the thunder god.
So we're in good hands. I knew
Yeah.
we were in good hands. All right, but tell me a little bit about Flom, because you were born and raised here. You spent your entire life here. What
Yeah.
can you tell us about your hometown?
So Flom has only 300 citizens, so it's really, really small. And if I go on the street, I will know everyone, and everyone will know me. And yeah, my father and my mother, they run a farm here, so they do sheep. So now, actually, during the summer, they are up in the mountains, and in the fall, my father will call me, and I have to come home to help him collect all the sheep up in the mountains. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
And how do you collect them?
We just run around in the mountain, on the mountaintops, which is about 1,300 meters above sea level.
And
so-
we can see almost the entire village from this view, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very, very intimate.
Yeah. Well, this is the touristic place where the cruise ships will come in, and the hotels are, and the restaurants are. My grandmother and the rest of the people living in Flom, they actually live up in the valley. Yeah.
Okay, and how many tourists come to see Flom every year?
Around 1 million people visit Flom every year, and they do attractions like Narrow Fjord, which is on the UNESCO World Heritage List, and the Flom Railway. The Flom Railway has a visit record of like 717,000 people.
Wow.
We have about 200,000 cruise passengers here every year, more than that. So on a busy day, it will be maybe 3 cruise ships here, actually.
Right, and what do tourists want to do the most when they come here? What's to see in Flom?
Well, it's the nature, the culture, and then activities like kayaking, ribboat safaris, and also, of course, the Flom Railway, which is the biggest attraction here.
Yeah, what was your favorite thing about growing up here?
That I could climb or hike all the mountains I wanted and just be outside, because in such a small place with not a lot of car traffic or anything, I could just run around as I wanted. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Chicago?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I love that city. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we have the same climate.
Yeah, yeah, you kind of do, yeah.
It's cold.
Well, it was warmer than here when I was there, so.
Yeah, but we've had some beautiful days here.
Yeah,
Have we
you
just
have.
been really lucky, or did
You're
you order this
lucky.
up?
You're lucky, you're lucky. We started in Bergen, which has like 300 rainy days a year, and you had one sunny, beautiful day, so.
Yeah, and it hasn't rained since we've been here.
No.
You must be the thunder god.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Day 3 of our Norway adventure begins with the Fjord Safari and our chance to see some of Mother Nature's grandest work up close.
Well, we're all suited up, ready to go on our Fjord safari. As you can see, we look quite stylish. These are also flotation devices, and they're going to keep us warm on the water with the wind chill factor. And quite frankly, we look good.
Our Fjord guide, Thomas, readies us for an incredible journey. As we depart, we begin in the Aurland Fjord with the opportunity to experience the beautiful Norwegian fjord landscape at close range. One thing Norway has no shortage of is waterfalls. And our first stop on our safari is to see one named Sagfossen. As snow and glaciers melt on the mountaintops, that water cascades down and becomes a beautiful waterfall. As we continue our safari, we notice a village. It's Undredal. Until the late 1980s, the only way to reach this place was by boat. This quaint little village with one heck of a view even has a river that runs through it. There are no police here because there's almost no crime. And like most villages in Norway, farming is the way of life. Goat farming. But Undredal has another claim to fame. It's Stave Church, a wood church where the construction is made out of poles, called staver in Norwegian.
Now, this is one of the oldest and most historic stave churches in the entire world. It was built in 1147. It's also the smallest church in Scandinavia. It only fits about 45 people inside. Then again, this entire village is made up of only 65 residents. There are 400 goats, though.
In 1962, the church was internally restored and its ancient decorations recovered. 3 coats of paint were washed off to reveal decorations that had been concealed. The chandelier with its 5 carved deer heads is believed to be medieval. So is one of the church bells that remains today. Our church guide Kari says services still take place here, but only once per month, because Undredal must share the priest with neighboring villages. Leif Inga Undredal, a village local, regales us with folk songs and tales of life. He and his wife own the only restaurant here where one delicacy on the menu is reindeer meatballs. After lunch, we're back on the boat and ready to see more fjords on the safari. This time we're headed for the narrow fjord which meets up with the Aurland Fjord.
Welcome to the narrow fjord. Right where we are sitting, it's about 500 meters deep, 1,500 feet.
Along the way, we see villages dotting the shoreline and more goats than we can possibly count. Our Disney tour guide, Torgeir, even stops to show us his family farm. See those red buildings in the high mountain? That's it. No matter where you look, it seems that Mother Nature has chosen Norway to show off her best work. Coming up next, the most photographed church in all of Norway. And later, is this lake green? Think again. More Windy City Live from beautiful Norway when we come back. We're trekking through the country of Norway on an Adventures by Disney vacation, inspired by the Disney film Frozen. We've seen incredible views of fjords from far away and up close. We've even seen one of the oldest churches in Norway, the Undredal Stave Church. Now we leave the village of Flåm behind and head to the village of Geiranger. On day 4 of our Norway adventure, we stop in Lærdal to see the Borgund Stave Church. It's considered the most photographed stave church in all of Norway, and it's easy to see why.
So how old is this stave church?
The church is actually over 830 years old, but from restorations in the 1800s, they didn't care about the techniques of how they restored the church, so they added on a lot of bolts and iron nails. But today we're restoring the church the original way, only using axe and only wood.
How have you been able to keep it so well preserved?
It's been a lucky church because there's always have been people restoring and protecting the church, especially on the roof. Because as long as the roof is closed off, it's good for the construction. So yeah.
Right, and the black color comes from tar from trees?
Yes, it does. It's a very old technique which was also used in the Viking time on boats to make them waterproof. So they also added on the church just to protect it from rain. So we have added on the tar ever since to protect it.
What can you tell me about some of the decorations on the roof?
Well, there are some dragon heads on the church. They are our guardians of the church. Some would say it's Christian symbols, but others would also say it's Viking symbols from the Viking ship, maybe to protect the church from creatures that are not supposed to be here. So yeah.
What do you say it is?
I think it's Viking because it's so much cooler.
And why no windows?
In Norway, it's very cold in winter time, and originally when the church was built, you didn't have glass windows, so you prefer to have it dark and warm, not cold and light. But the windows was added on after the Reformation, but was then removed by the owners again in the 1800s, so you could experience the dark atmosphere inside.
So were the services actually dark, or were they lit by candles, do you think?
It was some candles inside, of course, but you needed to be careful because it's a flammable church. But after you have been inside there for a while, your eyes are getting used to the darkness.
On our ride over, we learned that this was actually the inspiration behind the castle in Frozen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, have you seen Frozen?
Yes, I have.
Did they do a good job?
Yes,
implementing the
I was
inspiration
so
Norway?
proud when I saw like, oh, it's the Stave Church. Stave Church, yeah, it's really cool. It's, yeah. So I'm proud being a guide here after that movie, you know, because
Yeah.
it's, I see the similarities.
Right. And there's only, you said, 28 Stave churches left in Norway. Why
Yeah.
is that?
There's many reasons for that, but they stopped building the Stave churches when the Black Death came to Norway in the 1300s. And after that, a lot of the churches got abandoned, but also a lot of fires and a lot of other incidents like tearing them down because you needed modern church in 1800s. So there's many reasons why there are only 28 left today, but we're taking good care of them today.
So how many tourists come and visit the Stave church every year?
Every year we have around 30,000 visitors who go into the church, but we maybe have around 100,000 visitors who only stop by around in the area just to have a look at the church.
Have you been to Orlando, Florida at Walt Disney World?
Yes, I have.
Have
Yeah.
you seen the replica?
Yes.
What do you think of the replica?
It's okay, but it's so strange because I was there now in April and it was an exhibition about frost. And for me, that's so strange to come in a church and there's something completely else than an altar and all those things, but it's nice.
So for us, you saw our reaction when we first saw the Stave church. You see this every day. Still the same reaction?
Yeah. The church is just incredible. The architecture is so beautiful. So it's like, even though there are some days when there are not so many people here, I just stand and stare because I never get tired of the building. It's so beautiful.
Coming up, I'll show you how real men fish in Norway, and also a look at life on the farm. And later, your chance to win your own Norway adventure. Plus a little surprise for our Disney tour guides. Hey, be sure to catch Windy City Live after dark tonight at midnight. Our production team takes you behind the scenes of our incredible Norway adventure. More Windy City Live from Norway after the break. Welcome back to my Norway adventure. Over the last few days, we've explored the amazing scenery the country of Norway has to offer. But today, on day 5, we're going fishing. Trout fishing. About an hour and a half south of Geiranger is beautiful Lake Lewin, and we're on the move to catch some trout. But here, it's done the old-fashioned way. No poles for us, only nets.
Oh, here's one, here's 2, here's 3, here we go, here we go. How many we get?
4 or 5?
10? I think 10 or 12. Every fisherman lies, right?
With the day's catch done, we head for shore.
All right, we're fishermen now. It's official. What kind of fish? first fish I've ever caught in my life.
For us, this was playtime, but for Jan, this is a way of life. He owns the Kendalstova Cafe, which sits on the lake.
All right, Jan, so this is just another day at the office for you, huh?
For me, this is also a paradise, and I am able to wake up and enjoy the scenery every morning.
Yeah, is it true that you caught 70 fish this morning?
Yeah, I was up 5:30 catching 70 trouts for you to eat today, so you get them fresh and clean and pure.
That's a lot of pressure for you.
Nah, for me it's a pleasure.
So explain to us why the water is this color. It looks like we're in the tropics.
What you are looking at now is basically an optical illusion, because when the Austral glacier is moving, it scratches against the rock underneath, and it creates a thin powder with nanoparticles. And these particles are so light they doesn't sink for months. They stay in the surface, and these particles only reflect the green color of the sunlight.
Wow.
So it appears green, but it is completely clear. The same effect you have with the glaciers, it crystallizes in a way that only reflects the blue color, and it looks blue, but it is basically clear.
So does it look a lot different in the wintertime?
In the wintertime you can see 15 meters down, it's totally clear.
Wow.
So it's quite amazing to see the differences, but very often in the wintertime we have 1 meter with ice on this lake.
So tell us a little bit about the history, because I know there's a lot of history in this area.
Yes. This valley you are visiting today is only opened in the summertime, because in the wintertime we have a lot of avalanches in here. And in earlier previous times here was 2 villages lying over there and further down in the valley. And we had 2 rock falls from this mountain, Mount Raven it is called.
That's where we can see the flat face?
Yeah, you can see the missing part and the white field spots up there. And in 1905, 350,000 cubic meter with rock fell loose in the middle of the night, and it was January in the winter time. There was ice on the lake, and all these rocks, they created a tsunami wave that was 40 meter high. 40 meter.
Wow.
And this wave crushed into the villages and crushed all the buildings, killed all the animals and 61 people. And then the survivors and the relatives rebuilt it, but further up on land this time. But it happened again. In 1936, and it was in September, 1 million cubic meter fell loose from this mountain again, crushed into the water. Again, it was 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. And this time the wave was 74 meter high, 74. And also 74 people was killed that time. So after that they didn't rebuild.
Is there any theories that it's still going to happen again?
It happened again in 1950, and that was actually the biggest one, but then nothing happened because the water was filled up with rocks, and it is estimated there is about approximately 4 million cubic meter with rocks inside the lake. So it's filled up. So if it did happen today, for example, nothing would happen.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
After a morning of fishing, we set out to see another great sight here in Norway, the Briksdal Glacier. A glacier is nothing more than a large body of ice that moves slowly down a valley. People from all over the world come to see the Briksdal Glacier up close, but not too close. Large pieces have been known to suddenly break off. At its thickest point, it's nearly 1,500 feet, and its tallest peak is more than 6,000 feet above sea level. It's definitely a sight to see. On day 6 of our Norway adventure, the weather doesn't exactly cooperate with us.
Great weather.
But rain or shine, life on the farm goes on. We're at Vesterus Farm in Geiranger. Arnfinn Vesterus owns and runs this family farm, just like his father before him. Today he shows us how to cut the grass, the old-fashioned way. Looks easy enough. Okay, so it's not that easy. But Arnfinn steps in to help me out. And then, hey, I get the hang of it. But I better keep my day job.
Well, you've already met tour guide, our adventure guide on this amazing journey. Well, the other half of the team is right here. This is Kira. We have had an amazing time. Thank you so much. And you are actually from a place that's not too far from Illinois.
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm so glad to have you guys here with us, and we've been having a great time.
Well, every stop that we have made, we have gotten these amazing collector Disney pins. Can you tell us a little bit more about these?
Yeah, these pins are very cool. You can get them in the parks, but some of them are really special and they're just for Adventures by Disney, and you can only get them on the specific trips. So these particular pins, they go with specific days on the trip. So the day, for example, that we visited the Stave church, that's when we received the Stave by the Bell pin. You can't buy those anywhere. They're only on our Adventures by Disney trips.
And people go crazy for these things.
Oh yes, people absolutely love them, especially the ones that you can't buy. You have to get them in kind of a special special, cool way, like the ones that we get for Adventures by Disney.
Yes, if you've been to Disneyland or Disney World, you know your kids go nuts for these. Well, we actually have something on our show. The #1 question people ask when they go to our show is, how do I get this one coveted item? And tour guy, I want you to come in first. All right. Tuzatuk. All right. That means 1,000 thanks, I learned. We wanted to say thank you from Windy City Live by giving you these. You cannot buy these. You have to earn these only.
Cool.
All right. This is an exclusive Windy City Live mug. All right. These are plated with real gold.
Tusen tack. Oh.
Tusen tack. I'm
That's
kidding
kinda
about
cool.
that part. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys have
Oh,
been
wonderful.
outstanding. This trip would not be the same without
Thank you.
Tusen tack. Tusen tack.
Tusen tack.
Tusen tack, the word of the day. 1,000 thanks.
Coming up, your chance to win your own Norway adventure. And then, our bloopers and blunders.
Outtake.
On our final day in Norway, we travel from Geiranger to Ota. There, we catch a train to the capital city of Oslo. Across this great country, we've traveled nearly 800 miles. We have one last dinner to reflect on this incredible adventure.
New friends?
Then it's time for a little folk dancing, Norwegian style.
Traffic accident. Well, I hope my trip to Norway inspires you to book your own Adventures by Disney vacation. You can do that by going to adventuresbydisney.com. And hey, we wouldn't travel all the way to Norway if we didn't have something special for one lucky viewer. We want you and a guest to experience everything we did this week. So check it out.
Imagine winning your own Adventures by Disney vacation to Norway. Now is your chance. One lucky Windy City Live viewer will win a trip for two to experience this one-of-a-kind, Frozen-inspired vacation. See the majestic fjords of Norway. Visit the beautiful Borgund Stave Church. Explore all Norway has to offer, including its finest cuisine. It's a vacation valued at more than $12,000. For complete details and your chance to enter, visit windycitylive.com.
Sadly, our Norway adventure is coming to a close, but I got to thank my best friend for the past 26 years, Mikey, for coming along. Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely.
Did you
Thank
have a good time?
A great time. Amazing time.
What stands out the most?
Probably the river rafting, though, is probably by far my favorite.
River rafting. This guy's a beast. He loves hiking, biking, running, rafting, you name it. He'll probably swim back to California where he lives. But yeah, the Stave churches, the history and the architecture, just absolutely gorgeous, isn't
Incredible, incredible. Better than the movie Frozen.
it? Yeah, we built some great memories here that's going to last us a lifetime. Big thanks to Adventures by Disney for hosting us. And as they say in Norway, ha det bra, which means so long, everybody. We'll see you back in Chicago.
All right, this is what you've been waiting for, the bloopers.
All right, let's do this. That's how I did get in game shape.
I'm going too, so are you guys ready?
She wants to come.
Norway. Let it go! Let it go!
You know you can't sing.
Hey guys, well the last couple of days we have been very fortunate. Let's do that again. All new things for me. It's been an exciting time, and now we're traveling to the nation's capital. Outtake. Certainly all new things for me, but now we're headed to the biggest city in the country, headed to Oslo. We'll check in. We won't check in from you there. Oh, we'll see you back in Chicago. I'm just giving you outtakes for the blooper reel because I know that you need one.
I'm not sure what town because it wasn't close. I think the closest is like 2 hours from Oslo. I can find out. Yeah.
Give it my shot, Hank. Of course.
Tell me a little bit about Flom because you were born and raised here. You spent your entire life here.
Flom it has only 300 citizens.
Right. Now you just said Flom, but you told me earlier it's Flom. Did you mess that up?
Yeah.
All right, so you were born and raised here. Tell us about your hometown and what was so great about growing up here.
Okay, so Flom is very, very small.
You said Flom again.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
No bro hug. Don't bro hug me.
No bro hug.
Don't bro hug me. All right, Eric, so you go to... Oh, hang on. You're in my shot.
This water is cool.
I can hear you, Ryan.
Oh, I forgot. You got the mic on me. He's got a mic on me, so be careful what you say.
Jared, you're ugly.
See the country that inspired the animated film Frozen?
Sorry.
Hank screwed it up.
Okay, something is playing and I don't know what.
Flom has 300 people, but you have like 5 different municipals?
Yeah, well, Flom is a part of a municipal.
There's one.
Grab that guy.
Hold on, you grab him. I don't want to grab him, you grab him. And you are actually from a place that's not too far from Illinois.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
And?
Okay.
So I'm VIP?
You got it.
Where's my VIP pass? Where's my trailer? Thanks, Eric. Welcome to Windy City After Dark. You've just seen our show from Norway. Now the production team behind the episode joins me, senior producer Hank Mendheim, videographer and editor Jared Hoffa, and videographer Tyler Ferlin. Hey guys. So amazing trip, right?
Totally amazing.
Trip of a lifetime, and I think all of us, a lot of different things stand out for each one of us, but going over there, I think all of us were excited to see the fact that the sun doesn't set completely, right? That was like...
It really doesn't set.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, and I was thinking actually that it was going to be straight in the sky. It gets like to dusk.
Yeah.
But it's midnight. We're still shooting out there, and it makes you not want to go to sleep or go home, right?
But when you're walking back to the hotel at 1 in the morning and it's still bright out and people are everywhere, it's surreal.
Right. The bad thing is in the wintertime, the sun doesn't come up.
It doesn't come up.
Right. That would be strange.
I couldn't imagine what that was like. I mean, it was great for us because I mean, at one point I think we were just all eating dinner. It was like 10 o'clock, and it felt like it was 5 o'clock here. Which was wild.
Yeah, you never realized when it was going because we were up till 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
The first night there, so excited on the flight over. We didn't sleep the whole way, and it was a long day.
Right.
Very
And
long day.
Yeah, we lost we lost 7 hours.
Something like
When
that.
we went over there, so we kind of started the whole trip a little bit tired. Then the sun doesn't go down, that really throws you off. But was there one thing that like really stood out for you? Like what was the one thing that maybe surprised you or that stands out the most?
You know, it's definitely this the outdoor in the mountains. I mean, you saw the video and everyone saw the pictures, but there's nothing like it. And specifically me and Tyler in Flume, if I can pronounce it right. Flume. I just pronounced it wrong anyway.
You just saw tour guy mess that up in the bloopers.
If he messed it up, I can. We climbed 3,000 feet up, and that was amazing. Me and Tyler did. It took us like 2.5 hours. And we did it with Mikey, who was just like running up the mountain talking, and me and Tyler were dying.
He was insane.
Right.
Yeah.
He's so athletic. It was just so hard to keep up with him, but we were determined to reach the top of the peak because we wanted to find snow, and we found it.
Yes.
Right. And of course you saw Mikey throughout the show. He's my childhood best friend, but you actually almost took a big spill up on that.
So of course I was carrying the camera with me as we were hiking up there, and we were jumping over these little waterfalls and creeks and that, and I jumped over one, lost my balance, and luckily there was a small tree there I fell against and looked down, and there's a drop off to another waterfall down there.
It was a solid 30, 40, 50 foot drop.
Do you realize how much video we would have lost if you would have
We were in the middle of downfall. Sorry, Mom.
This show would have been a catastrophe.
Right, exactly.
So what stood out for you, Hank?
For me, I absolutely loved Stegestein near Geirenga. It's that huge wooden platform that we walked out on, and the view from there is one of the most spectacular views that I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
It was just this beautiful Hourland Fjord and amazing.
Right, which I almost didn't get to see, remember?
Yes, yeah.
We were walking to go see it. I forgot my sweatshirt because it was cold. I go, hold on, I'm going to run back to the bus and grab it. I go back to the bus. As soon as I get on it, the bus takes off. And we go, and I'm like, what are we doing? And he didn't realize I was on the bus.
I remember like, where's Ryan at? We're shooting this thing.
Yes, and we had to go all the way up the mountains for him to turn around. And as soon as I get off, I run over there. Yeah. And I got to see it. But
speaking of that, on the bus driver taking those really tight turns around the mountains, everything was a cliff and these very narrow roads.
Yeah.
There's other tour buses out there with us that had to back up, and these guys had to go around each other.
Right.
That was scary.
He did a great
This guy
job.
was super super talented.
Yeah. What was that? Oh, go ahead, Hank.
I was going to ask you. So you've asked us, what was your standout?
I would say it had to be the Stave churches. That Borgund Stave church, the one that's all black, that looks like Tim Burton's dream.
Yes.
You know, that church is so beautiful. It was made around 1150. I mean, think about that. It's still standing today. It has like all of the dragon heads on the top of it because of the Viking days.
Right.
A lot of people think it was the Vikings looking over them in the church, but just absolutely beautiful and so majestic. And I mean, it was just amazing. You're like almost lost for words when you see something like that.
You know what fascinated me about the Borgund Stave Church is that I asked Bjorn, our guide, you know, what was the oldest grave in the graveyard around the church? And he goes, oh, only about 40 years old. And I said, only about 40? Why? He goes, because every 40 years we recycle the graves. And I said, what do you mean you recycle the graves? What do you do with the remains? And he's like, we don't have any. He goes, if the family doesn't want to keep the grave, we recycle it, because in the United States we embalm the bodies. In Norway, they don't. They just put you in the ground and you return to the earth.
Imagine that job. Hey, here's what we want you to do today. You're the new guy.
Exactly.
What stood out for you, Tyler?
Definitely the rafting in Voss. That was amazing. It wasn't that huge of waves in that. It was enough to get wet and you had to hold yourself down. You might have fallen out, but getting tackled off by you was pretty exciting.
I don't lose. You know that.
No.
I don't live. I lose, you're going with me.
We were at a standstill for a while there, so we had to end it like that.
Yeah, that thing was going around. I know that we cut it a little bit shorter, but we were going around.
Yes.
Yeah, they had the people paddling in circles there, and the water was freezing. It's all melting from the waterfalls into there.
That water was so cold. I just made sure that you were rolling when I tackled Mikey into the water.
Yeah.
I looked right over and said, "You rolling?" And then Mikey knew it. He said he knew it was coming.
Saw it coming.
And then your buddy threw you in.
My buddy Mike came with me on the tour, and there's a scene where I guess we see Mike. We don't see it in the show, but him doing a backflip off the raft. And as soon as he got on the raft, he looked at me, and I knew I was going in. And he just tackled me and went in the water. It was freezing. But the one thing that I wanted to say about the water, which really impressed me, and everywhere we went in Norway, wherever you went and there was water flowing, it was crystal clear, clean as could be. You could literally put your cup in any river and drink that water.
And we did. We drank out of them,
Right.
We did it when we climbed.
When we climbed to the top, I mean, that's couldn't get any fresher than that. 3,000 feet up, just take the water bottle.
Right.
And fill it.
The other thing that was really surprising to all of us Americans is the cost of living is quite a bit different in Norway.
Yes.
The salaries are a lot better. I mean, but they pay more for their products, so it almost seems like it might be a wash. But when we wanted to buy one beer and it was $20, it was.
My favorite part was Ryan bought a round for everyone as the wrap up, and he came back. He's like, "That's the last round I'm buying anyone."
I knew it was going to be high, over $200 for one round.
It was insane.
That was great.
But it's they say that their teenagers make like $17 an hour. The adults make at least $30 an hour, respectively. What did you think about the Norwegian cuisine?
Well, I thought it was great, but we take Ryan, who doesn't eat seafood, to a country where seafood is their main dish. I think you had chicken every day.
I had whatever the meat option was. I've never eaten meat and potatoes more in my whole life.
Very consistent with that,
Yeah, we had a running joke going saying that we're going to make T-shirts that say potatoes or potatoes, Norway.
Yeah, always potatoes.
Because they do. They eat potatoes just
With
about
everything.
every meal because they're living off the land. I mean, think about like some of these people they don't ever have to go to a grocery store.
No.
Everything that they do is off the land.
Well, they live so far out from each other, you can't.
Right. Yeah, what grocery store?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it was an amazing trip, guys. I had a blast. I hope you guys did too.
I loved it.
Amazing place you'd never think of going, and just so beautiful.
All right, where are we going next? Hawaii.
Disney World.
Disney World. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. So long.